My friends, good evening. Now, two very unusual things have happened over the last few days. First, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong has said sorry for all the wrong things the PAP has done in the last 5 years. Aljunied GRC PAP candidate Minister Lim Hui Hua, on the other hand, Aljunied GRC PAP candidate Minister Lim Hui Hua, on the other hand, is not so apologetic. She has asked the Workers' Party to be transparent. So, Minister Lim Hui Hua, I will devote this entire speech to how the PAP, I beg your pardon, to the PAP and how it deals with transparency and accountability. To the respected Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, you have said sorry, but I ask you, is anything going to change? Are you sorry about emotionally pressuring Singaporeans by linking votes to upgrading? Are you going to continue allowing opposition MPs to conduct Meet the People sessions at HDB void decks? I ask you this today, Mr. Prime Minister, so next time you do not have to apologize a few days before polling day. Residents of Aljunied GRC, in the name of accountability and transparency, the Workers' Party has proposed the enactment of a Freedom of Information Act in our 2006 and 2011 manifestos. Let me share with you two examples with you, my friends, why information that affects the lives of ordinary Singaporeans must be shared with Singaporeans and the people of Singapore. First, to Minister Bao Tan. A young engineer in Serangoon North requested me to share something with Minister Bao Tan. Many young people who already work long hours are finding HDB flats very expensive. It is hard for them to plan for their future and their retirement. That is why many of them delay having children or only have one child. They also have a filial responsibility to look after their parents. I ask you, Minister Ma, to touch your heart and feel the reality of the Singapore heartland. We do not have your $1 million salary. You do not need to plan for your financial future. We do. The PAP constantly says HDB prices are affordable. Now, my friends, there is a big elephant inside the HDB building in Toa Payoh. Every Singaporean can see this elephant, except Minister Bao Tan. About 30 years ago, former PAP Minister for National Development, Mr. Teh Cheng Wan revealed to Singaporeans what the cost price of a HDB flat was. He revealed what the cost price of a HDB flat was. But since Minister Mabao Tan has become Minister of National Development, the cost price of HDB flats has never been publicly revealed. My friends, it seems as if the PAP was much more transparent 30 years ago. In 1985, I beg your pardon, in 1985, the PAP set up the feedback unit. The man behind the feedback unit was then Deputy Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong, who wanted the feedback unit to be, I quote, a forum to understand major policies, ask questions, make suggestions, and generally participate in working out a solution, unquote. One reason for the establishment of the feedback unit was in response to the victory of two lions in the 1984 Singapore general elections, Chiam See Tong and JB Jeyaretnam. My friends, about 15 years after the PAP set up the feedback unit, 15 years after the PAP set up the feedback unit, PAP MP Miss Amy Kaur said in Parliament that the feedback unit, I quote, was a black hole from which no light emits, unquote. My friends, here you have a PAP MP in Parliament openly, frankly telling Singapore citizens that giving feedback to the PAP government is almost like a waste of time. Not the opposition, a PAP MP. This was a rude shock to many in the PAP, I think. So what did they do? The PAP, made Amy Kaur the chairman of the feedback unit. Under Amy Kaur's leadership, the feedback unit was given a fresh coat of paint and a new name. It is now called REACH. REACH stands for Reaching Everyone for Active Citizenry at Home. But my friends, you can give anything a fresh coat of paint, but does a leopard ever change its spots? 2 months ago, just 2 months ago, REACH, the government feedback unit, mind you, called for more transparency and more information on foreigner inflow into Singapore and the PAP government's criteria for PR applications. REACH, the government feedback unit, asked for this information so Singaporeans can understand the PAP government's foreign talent policy better. But the minister in charge of our immigration and foreign policy, I beg your pardon, foreign talent policy, is Deputy Prime Minister Pritam Singh. This is what he said. This is what he said, as quoted by the Straits Times on 26 February 2011 to the feedback unit's request for more transparency and more information on the foreign talent policy. This is what he said. The more information we provide, it does not lead to a better outcome. He added, no country has ever given detailed information about how they select their people. We should similarly adopt the same position. My friends, Minister Pritam Singh does not want to share details or information on the PAP's foreign talent policy, key information on the PAP's foreign talent policy. To Minister Lim Hui Hua, is this the transparency you are talking about? My response to Minister Wong is this. I beg your pardon, DPM Wong is this. We are not any other country. We are Singapore. The PAP has not told us what is the optimal population size they have in mind for Singapore. Is it 5.5 million, 6.5 million, or 7.5 million? Now my friends, these are important questions because they affect Singaporeans, all Singaporeans greatly. One question middle income Singaporeans ask is whether they should buy a second property as a retirement investment. Because if population is going up, then it's a good idea, since there will always be someone who wants to rent your second property. So if your target is 7.5 million, I hope the PAP commits to sharing this information with all Singaporeans before the PAP decides to open the floodgates once more to all foreigners or more foreigners. Mr. Prime Minister, please don't misunderstand Singaporeans or the Workers' Party. We do not expect you to be perfect. We are all human beings with our strengths and our weaknesses. But please treat us like equal Singaporeans. And commit yourself to a public service that is substantively accountable and substantively transparent. To the residents of Aljunied GRC, Finance Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam only a few days ago said a strong opposition is good for Singapore and good for the PAP. To the residents of Aljunied GRC, a vote for the Workers' Party will not just benefit you and your children. Government transparency and accountability will benefit all Singaporeans. My friends, before I round up, I just want to make one point. Now, over the last week of the hustings, we have heard many people, mainly PAP supporters of course, saying George Yeo, if he is not elected, will be a loss to Singapore as foreign minister. Now my friends, I think we have said a lot about what other appointments can be open to Minister George Yeo. There are many high-powered appointments where Minister George Yeo can continue doing a lot of good for Singapore. But I think people should give more faith and credit to the second Minister of Foreign Affairs, because there is a number 2 man in the Foreign Ministry. Surely he can take over as Foreign Minister. My friends, it is very dangerous if we say only one man has all the answers to issues that affect Singapore and Singaporeans. And to be honest, this is not about the Workers' Party coming up and trying to better the PAP argument or trying to say we have a solution. But this is good governance. You cannot have just one man up there with all the eggs in his basket. Surely someone else can take over. And the second Minister for Foreign Affairs has been around for a number of years as second Minister for Foreign Affairs. So my friends, on that note, I humbly urge you, the choice at the end of the day is yours. Singaporeans, the Workers' Party will always respect your choice. That is your power and your strength as a voter, as a citizen of Singapore. It is your right to choose who you want to. But I hope you join us in moving towards a first world parliament.